it going, guys? Dylan from Luxury lives on, and I hope everyone's doing well today. Now today I'm standing in front of a Tesla Roadster, an electric sports car, but let's be honest, those two words didn't exactly, well, used to go together. And that's why this car had so much to prove. Now in my hands, I have a really old iPod. You see, back then, this thing was revolutionary. It allowed you to store, well, an entire music library in your pocket. But it was a long road to that revolution. Now let's be honest, we had, well, multiple steps before this thing came along. It all started probably with Walkmans, boomboxes, and even at some point way back when, we were listening to, well, boxes with spinning discs on them. But you see, even though all of these inventions sound silly, primitive, and useless, they were all necessary technological stepping stones to getting to, well, where we have iPhones today with infinite music libraries, well, that are stored on an imaginary cloud. Now before you shut this video off, because, well, I've yet to really talk about cars, I brought up this example for a reason. You see, this Tesla Roadster is not the cusp of the technological edge. In fact, it's dated very much like this iPod. But like this iPod, it still plays music, and this Tesla still drives. Alright guys, slight hiccup. Unlike the Testarossa I just reviewed, which I physically actually couldn't fit in, well, the people at Rancho Santa Fe Motors laughed at me and said I probably couldn't fit in this one either. Let's prove them wrong, because I really want to drive this, and you might at least get some entertainment out of watching me suffer. Alright, now yes, this electric sports car is not the hovercraft, well, the future promised us we'd have. In fact, it's missing, well, half the technological crap that even the new Teslas have today, like iPads for screens, and, well, this car certainly doesn't drive itself. But it was never supposed to. You see, this was supposed to be the first electric sports car, something fun, exciting, and, well, something that hopefully worked. On second thought, I can tell you one technological feature I wouldn't complain about, and that's power steering. Damn it, I forgot. I forgot something. Alright, so we are aboard the Tesla Roadster. Now, of course, this car is electric, and what that means is immediacy. You don't have to wait for cylinders to fire or anything like that. It's immediate, and well, electric cars have a lot of torque, so let's see what this feels like. Can't really build the revs, I suppose. Ready, go! Oh my God! This thing is absolutely vicious! That is hilarious. And it handles really well because it's so rigid. It's basically a Lotus mixed with a bunch of carbon fiber. And sorry, the GoPro is probably moving around because it's a rough ride, it's rigid, it's a little flexible-y, you know. It's okay, some of the parts are moving around a bit, but honestly, I didn't get this car until now. It's so much fun to drive. And I literally barely fit in this thing. I feel like I'm a character in Mario Kart right now. Oh my God. Hell, if you don't buy it, I might. And again, sorry for this GoPro shaking. It's a rough car. Oh, one-handed. Now, of course, this car is a ton of fun, but it's one of the early electric cars, so you have to worry about when you get stuck. Just joking. Hey! But seriously, it does run out of charge a bit quickly. It doesn't have the newer batteries or anything like that. But then again, you're not dropping your kids off at soccer practice in this, are you? You're doing what I'm doing. Driving like, well, a teenager on the road. This thing is so cool. Oh God. Sorry you guys had to see that again, but you see, I usually don't like electric cars for, well, various reasons. They're too quiet, they have one gear, they don't usually have much range, and, well, the biggest complaint is, do they have a soul? I drive a motorcycle. God damn it. Anyway, before we prejudge electric cars, we have to think of this Tesla Roadster as a first date. You see, before we take them out for Italian, well, no one really knew what an electric car was. They thought it was a novelty, and they certainly didn't think they were here to stay. And in fact, before electric cars were really a thing, their only demographic were environmentalists and smug nerds that were trying to upgrade their Priuses. But now I can't drive around anywhere in California specifically without seeing a Tesla. And in fact, if you're a big car company and you don't at least have a hybrid, you're considered, well, behind the curve. Now the crazy thing is, not only did people buy these and therefore accepted the electric sports car, Tesla's got a line of people that want to, well, put money down for their new hypercar. That's right, Tesla's introducing us to wanting hypercars that don't make noises except for, and that's okay because consider these stats. It goes over 250 miles an hour and under 2 seconds 0 to 60. Allegedly. Don't sue me if I'm wrong, but god damn, that sounds impressive and I'm excited for it, even if it doesn't have exhaust fumes. It's making weird robot noises. But nonetheless, you see guys, unfortunately, just like the iPod, electric cars are stepping stones, our technological path to, well, the next big thing. And even though, well, electric cars yield low emissions, we still don't quite know how to get rid of their big toxic batteries. For me, electric cars are like telephone poles. Why haven't they built all of them underground yet? Alright, so I've told you its story. Now let's talk about the specific car for sale by Rancho Santa Fe Motors. Now it's a 2010 Tesla Roadster, obviously because you can have the roof missing if you want. $59,000, 49,000 miles. It's a car you could really have as a driver's car. And honestly, I think these cars will become an investment one day. It's hard to look at it now, but Tesla is becoming a proper brand, just like, well, how Nike became a proper brand, and we see old sneakers used and abused for sale for hundreds and hundreds of dollars just because they're old and they represent a time, and really this is the first of that time. Now it's in a beautiful metallic blue. It's got tan interior. It's a more interesting spec, and it's not too wild where you're gonna kind of look, you know, weird driving it. It doesn't have a ton of presence, mainly because it's, well, really small. It's on a Lotus body, as many of you know, but that's a good thing because Lotus makes some of the best chassis around, obviously from racing and in their road cars. They're not doing so hot as a company, but cars are pretty good. Anyway, as I said, there's a lot of carbon fiber in it, in the chassis, but also throughout the car. Adds a nice effect. And it's a pretty light car. The battery doesn't necessarily help, but obviously it's an electric car and you can't do much about that. Now the taillights do look a bit kit car-ish, but the rest of the body is actually quite pretty. The wheels look modern and nice. It's got cool little vents here and there. And it's kind of like a baby Ford GT or Evora in the front. It's actually got a very kind of similar front, big headlights. And well, it's a tiny car, as I said, and that follows into the interior. Now, if you're a bigger guy, it's gonna be a bit difficult, but I somehow fit in it, which is a great sign. Obviously, you have more carbon fiber carrying through, and it's not the prettiest place to be, but it's obviously a very driver's focused car. I kind of look at it like a weekend track car. It's got your bare, you know, necessities, upgraded radio, whatever it may be, but you know, there's nothing really to complain about. If you want the car, you really want it. And if you don't think about it. Now moving to the engine, or should I say motor, which you still can't see anyway. It's back here because it's a driver's car, obviously. Now they had different variations. Tesla took the car back, gave it more batteries, but it's about 295 horsepower at its best, 3.70 to 60, which is honestly bloody fast. Makes it a really fun car. And obviously you have some more carbon fiber underneath. Now this Tesla Roadster is an important invention. You see, even though it's outdated and irrelevant now, it was a necessary stepping stone for technology to be where, well, it is today with now, I guess, a 250 mile an hour Tesla Roadster. And that doesn't make this thing irrelevant. I'm just glad that we still don't have to, well, put our head next to a big box and a spinning disc on it. And in fact, you know what? I still listen to this thing. Alright guys, so that is it. The story of the Tesla Roadster. A necessary stepping stone not only for technology, but a necessary car to create acceptance for the electric sports car. Now guys, I have to thank Rancho Santa Fe Motors for letting me film this car. They were very gracious, gave me as much time as I wanted with it. And well, it was really fun, honestly, driving it around. Now guys, not only should you check this car out in the description to their website, check out all their other crazy inventory, and hopefully we're gonna be doing more cars with them soon. Now guys, if you wanna follow me on more things, I'm of course on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you wanna see what type of equipment I use, check the Amazon links below. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you wanna see more of my content, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace! Thank you.